Kangatarian.
Yeah, so
you only eat kangaroo?
Our Aussie buddies out there, you need to confirm this for us. There is such a thing as, it was on Wikipedia, Kangatarian diet where you eat vegetarian, but you can still eat kangaroo. Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Coaches on Couches.
Bing slouches.
Pretty good.
That was pretty good, actually.
Today, we are talking, there's a big, there's a lot of conflicting information out there right now in the whole nutrition world. People are wondering...
Confusion.
I
think there's always been confusion in the nutrition world.
People are wondering what the hell they're supposed to eat.
What do I eat?
And
plants are good.
What can we eat that's not going to kill me?
Meat's good. Meat's bad. Fats are good. Fats are bad. Carbs are good.
We're going to talk a little bit today on to helping you find out what the right diet, daily nutrition diet is for you.
For you, yes.
Yeah. So we'll get into that. I am Coach Dale Sanford.
I am Coach Bryant Funston. We are the co-founders of BPC Performance Coaching, where we specialize in helping time-crunched athletes optimize their busy schedules so they can maximize their athletic performance. Every BPC coach is trained in our 5-pillared coaching system that has been developed over the last decade through our work with athletes of all ages and ability levels, from fresh off the couch to world championship competitors. You can find out more about BPC by going to buildpeakcompete.com. Check us out on Facebook and YouTube at Build Peak Compete, or all up on that Instagram at BPC Performance.
Perfecto. All right, so
I forgot to take my shoes off today.
Oh man. Better just get comfy here.
I felt off.
I might be here.
Why. There we go.
All right. So quick thanks. We always make it. Do we have any shout outs?
Got a couple.
I do.
Got a few shout outs.
Here we go. Shout outs. I do have one.
This is not peak shout out season.
Yeah. Liz Hall hit a 4-mile PR last week. So, she's 5 years into this, and she's still hitting PRs, so that's always good. What you got?
Another run one, Hart Robinson, which we're not used to giving him props on the run.
I think he rides mountain bikes.
It was off-road, so, similar surface. But he knocked out a 5K PR off-road.
That's pretty good.
You don't run a lot. You hit a lot of PRs.
Is he
still solid solid go there.
Yeah.
So he's doing the off-road series. So the Memphis Runners off-road series.
Nice.
Great cross training for folks.
Another little quick thing, our Memphis 70.3 training group, where you can sign up anytime. So you're not behind. If you think you are, feel free to contact us. You can check that group out by going to buildpeakcompete.com/IMMEM. And that will give you all the information on the training group and getting started. We got a good group. It's kind of growing. We had the big bulk of people sign up, and now we're getting a couple more every month. So I feel like it'll just keep growing until we get into the thick of the training for the Ironman 70.3 in Memphis.
Yeah, so, still a great time. If you're a beginner, you may have started your training already, and you're kind of like, hey, I just need help with structure. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing when. Just getting kind of a framework has been valuable for a lot of folks. And then, the training group, you can ask questions and stuff to adapt that to you.
Yeah, you get coach support.
Exactly.
You're not on your own. And we're doing all kinds of webinars and stuff. In fact, next week we're doing a webinar on the keys of injury prevention for this group, because a lot of these people are brand new to triathlon in general. So
cool.
All right, so let's get into it.
First off, why this question, Dale? Why is this our topic today?
It's mainly because we get questions every week on nutrition, and it's like, but when you get on to like, I blame Netflix. I'm going to blame Netflix on this one. Like all the documentaries, I've watched all of them.
All of them?
Pretty much.
Or a lot of them?
I've watched all of the food documentaries on Netflix, and they are super conflicting. Like there's just so much conflicting information out there right now in nutrition.
I think part of this is you can find different diets. We're going to refer to them as diets. What you do for nutrition on a daily basis. But there's people who have success and had success, from a weight loss standpoint, especially from doing something like an Atkins, doing stuff like a keto diet. On the flip side, you've got people who have great success going plant-based. You've got people who do great, going
in case you need
gluten-free. You've
some
got
ideas.
Folks who
we've got vegetarian, pescatarian, fruitarian, Kangatarian.
Kangatarian.
Yeah, so
you only eat kangaroo?
Our Aussie buddies out there, you need to confirm this for us. There is such a thing as it was on Wikipedia. Kangatarian diet where you eat vegetarian, but you can still eat kangaroo. Just saying. Vegan, intermittent fasting, paleo, ketogenic, Atkins, gluten-free, Mediterranean, the Subway diet.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the Subway diet.
Jared.
Supersize me. We got the all McDonald's diet.
Yeah. Cabbage soup diet, juice fasting, the Zone, Beachbody, Whole30, Nutrisystem still exists, and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles diet.
Is that what pizza?
Just eat pepperoni pizza.
Oh, that's awesome. No, and I think within this, so you take a person who says, okay, well, my goal is weight loss. Okay, so your goal is weight loss, and you find someone out there who went and only ate one slice of pizza each day, and they lost weight. And so, if you don't really dive into, is it a healthy diet versus I can lose weight on this diet? I think those are two totally separate, different things.
Well, you have to keep in mind that, like, the people who we're reaching out to with this is they want, a lot of them do want to lose weight or at least get to race weight.
Yeah, exactly.
But they want it to positively affect their performance. So the main two that we get asked about
most recently,
majority of the time, are plant-based and the ketogenic diet. I would say a lot of people can benefit from a balance of both, but the number one question that you have to ask yourself is what I'm going to do sustainable for the long haul?
And this is key. Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Like going full bore. I think this is one of the problems so many people have, and it's a problem people have when they first get into exercise or training or a healthy lifestyle in general. Is you're excited at the start and you're all in, but what happens once that excitement wears off a little bit? It's easy to do something for one day, doing it day after day can become a lot more of a challenge. So thinking through what works for me, what works for my lifestyle, and what is sustainable is of the utmost importance. Yeah, are you someone who can, who loves meat? Well, if that's the case,
going plant-based.
Tough. May not be your best option. Like for me personally, I'm a plant-based person, but I was, growing up, we ate a lot of vegetarian style stuff. I was never like a big, massive meat eater anyway. Like I would eat steak, I would eat hamburgers, I would eat that kind of stuff, but I was never like, I gotta have my meat kind of person. So me going plant-based wasn't nearly as hard. It hasn't been a challenge in that regard. It's not like I have these massive cravings that I'm trying to get rid of.
I was the opposite. I grew up with meat in every meal. And growing up playing football and stuff like that and lifting, protein was like the biggest thing. Like, and you had to get it from meat. Like, people weren't even talking about the fact that vegetables have protein in them.
Yeah,
everything has protein. I grew up thinking like you had to have it on every meal, and that's basically what I did.
Yep.
Real quick, we'll just define the two a little bit. Just get a little background, since there is even confusion. Like, oh, you hear the word ketogenic, and you may not even know what that is, or you might have conflicting information. So, plant-based basically is no meat.
No meat.
No
Nothing
dairy.
that comes from an animal that's produced from an animal. So
no meat, no dairy.
No meat, no dairy.
Which generally kind of yields
no eggs.
Yeah, no eggs. That's a tough
no
one
fish,
for me.
No,
Basically, that leads to a higher percentage of carbohydrate for the most part. Like a moderate amount of fat, because you can. Let's be real. You can eat really crappy.
Yeah, this is what we're gonna get into this here a little bit. Yeah. By saying I am a plant-based person, but going out and eating all the imitation stuff that's loaded with all kinds of horrible stuff for you. You know, it looks like a chemistry experiment versus, you eating some more whole food.
When Bryant's in a pinch at a restaurant, he'll get, if there's not a mound of salad waiting on him.
No, the salad's my go-to.
A basket of fries will do.
That is true.
Get some calories.
No, honestly, yeah. And is that the healthiest thing?
Nope.
No. I mean, that's when I first made the conversion over to plant-based. I still liked the taste of, I used to eat quite a few like the chicken sandwiches and stuff. So I was eating a bunch of that stuff, and it's not exactly the best for you. It's not something that I would, from a health standpoint, I would point someone more to eat your lean meats rather than getting your imitation meat that's going to fulfill that,
your Beyond
that
Meat?
craving for you. Yeah, now you got Beyond Meat stuff. Yeah. But I think you're better off eating whole foods, stuff that hasn't been processed, stuff that's not been developed in a with a lot of words you can't pronounce.
We'll squash the whole protein thing real quick. A lot of people, especially people who lift and do a lot of activity, they think protein. But in fact, there isn't protein in absolutely pretty much everything you eat. Yeah. And you will still get adequate protein eating plant-based. I mean, it's not hard at all.
It is not hard. Yeah, for the people that are worried about not being able to get big by eating plants, take a look at an elephant.
Yeah, take. Yeah. I mean, I think that Netflix the documentary Game Changers has so many people and that was the intention of it. They did a good job. So many people thinking about going completely plant-based, but as we'll find out, it may not be the best for you. So the other big option that we're getting bombarded with a lot now is ketogenic diet, which is basically super high fat. It's still like a moderate amount of protein. It's not necessarily high protein. And then like super low carb.
The defining characteristic there really is like get rid of the
Atkins
carbs.
on steroids type of thing.
To put your body into a state of ketosis.
Yeah, so the diet itself was originally kind of developed to help kids with like uncontrollable epilepsy. And so they found it to really work. But it's you kind of go really low carb, so your body produces ketones from the fat, and then your body can use ketones as fuel. So essentially it's kind of converting your body into burning more fat as fuel. That's the gist of it.
Yep.
A lot of people worry about the whole it's not no carb. It's not a no carb diet, because your brain still needs a bit of glucose to run off of, or you're going to be in trouble. Your brain can run off of ketones as well, but it still needs a decent amount of glucose. So I think it's like a 5 to 10% carbs of your total calories for the old ketogenic diet there. But the thing is, like, it's not like what are the big takeaways from both of these? Because they both have shown, research has shown them to work. Research has shown them to decrease risk of disease. And they both tout reversal of diabetes and all these fantastic things to your health. But there's a couple of, like, one thing the research doesn't tell you is what these people were eating before. So I think you have to consider anyone who is eating a normal Western diet and gets on either one of these plans is going to feel fantastic.
Yeah, if you've been eating a bunch of garbage, and honestly, you can go plant-based and you can go ketogenic and still eat a bunch of stuff that's crappy for you.
Yeah.
So I think what we like to tout here is, if you make a change and start substituting healthier options for crappy options that you were doing before, there's a good chance you're going to be feeling a lot better, regardless of which one of those 58 diets you mentioned at the very start here.
Yeah.
And I think, as far as all the confusion out there, it's like, you don't have to make it so crazy. You don't have to be plant-based. You don't really even have to be, you don't have to be on a ketogenic diet. Eat healthier foods.
Yeah.
Substitute crap foods with healthy foods.
The big takeaway there is both of these plans, and most of these plans, I mean, everything here is basically about substituting worse foods for whole foods or better sources of food, nutrient dense, not calorie dense foods. If you do that, you're going to be fine.
And I think a lot of what we've seen as well, and what we've chatted about in the past, is like you take someone on a diet where they're paying no attention to what they're eating, and just by putting someone within a framework, like I'm going to eat within a specific framework, now the person's actually paying attention to what they're eating more so than what they were before. If before you paid no attention, you ate whatever you wanted to, just being aware of what you're eating and having a structure within what you eat, which caused you to eliminate some of the foods you may have been eating beforehand. So someone on a ketogenic diet, maybe they were eating a ton of sweets. Like you were smashing desserts after, every dinner. Not to say desserts are bad, but if you're eating a tiny bit of healthy food at dinner to save room for that whole cake you're going to eat afterwards, by going to a ketogenic diet where you're eliminating the sweets now, boom. That's a lot of
massive source of calories,
empty calories that you're getting rid of. Same with plant-based. Like for me, when I went plant-based, there was a lot of the cookies and the other stuff that, I could eat a whole, although Oreos are vegan. So I have eliminated that for the most part. But you end up having a structure, a framework. You're paying attention to what you're eating, and you're starting to eliminate or minimizing some of the stuff that you may have overindulged in before that replaced healthier foods.
Yeah, so like a lot of people, they get on a diet and they're eating vegan or they're eating whatever, and they're not losing weight because they're eating crap. I mean, it's not always as easy as calories in, calories out. We want to think it is a lot of the time, but even if you're restricting calories, if the sources of calories are deficient in nutrition, your body will still take that as, hey man, you're starving me. Like I'm nutritionally starving here. And so I'm going to hold on to everything I possibly can. So that's a huge point I think people can take away, is that by putting in these whole foods that are sources of food, regardless of the calorie intake, your body is going to reward you, because it's like, well, I don't need all this fat because I have all the macro and micronutrients that I need. So let's offload some of this stuff.
Which I guess that's a pretty good segue into kind of our tips that we have for folks.
Yeah.
Number one, there's confusion in everything. Like you can, and you'll find the stuff that suits what you like, right? So if you're someone who likes partaking in alcohol at night, you're going to find that study out there that pops up that's like, hey, 2 glasses of wine per day are great for you.
Super heart
You're
healthy.
like, hey, 2's great. 6 is better. Like, I'm going to be super healthy tonight. You can find study you're a coffee drinker. You can find stuff that says coffee's great for you or coffee's horrible for you. There's so much conflicting stuff out there that, like, stop overcomplicating this whole thing. Like, think about it. Is overindulging in anything generally a super great idea?
Nope.
In a lot of situations, not. So, like, what stuff out there are you overdoing that you know isn't the best bet for you and what your goals are? And look to minimize that. Don't look for this secret magic bullet that's going to be perfect for you.
Yeah.
And instead, like, stop being so confused by it all and having that whole paralysis that comes with, well, I don't know what to do, so I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to keep doing what I'm currently doing. So stop making things so complicated.
Yeah. I mean, you have to figure if something like water, too much water can kill you, I mean, pretty much anything else in the mass quantities, probably going to do a number on you.
It could, exactly. Which moves on to number 2 here.
Yeah, so like we're replacing those worst sources for whole foods that are nutrient dense, not calorie dense.
Exactly.
I think that's a big point. I mean, this kind of goes into the next point, but we're just eating less processed foods. And probably the easiest, like if we're doing baby steps here, I think the number one thing people can do to eliminate like calories from their diet is to eliminate liquid calories, liquid, like empty liquid calories. So those are your sodas, sweet tea. Sorry, folks.
Sweet tea?
Sorry, yeah. For those of you in the north, sweet tea is tea.
Sweet tea is tea in the
South.
South.
with about 8 cups of sugar in it.
Exactly.
So yeah, eliminate those liquid calories. Like that's the number one thing you can do.
A super easy step. And you may be someone who doesn't do that already. Like you're currently not doing that. If so, great.
Yeah.
But you may be the person that, I'm not drinking sodas, but I won't think twice about drinking, 3 pints of my favorite beer at night.
Yeah, well, same thing. It's
exactly
it's
empty calories. They're not providing nutritional
sugars.
Value to you.
Yeah.
It's calories that essentially you find tasty, but aren't actually helping you perform.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I was attacking the Coke, so not the booze.
But first thing mentioned there was replacing stuff that's not quite as good for you, or minimizing that and adding in healthier stuff. So you got to be aware of what you're currently eating.
Yeah, there's actually a lot of research that shows that just writing down what you eat, regardless of if you even try to change the sources of food, writing down what you eat will help you lose weight because you think twice before you have to write it down.
Yep.
Think twice about eating it or consuming it if you have to write it down first or write it down after.
Yep.
So that's if you're trying to lose weight, start writing it down.
Oh, exactly.
Start logging it. Something like MyFitnessPal, we use it a lot. People who are wanting to lose weight, and again, it's not necessarily about calorie restriction, but you see straight up what calories are, where it's coming from, like macro, makeup, and then
by macro we mean carbs, fats, proteins.
Yeah, and then you can see like, are these foods really sufficient in nutrients other than the big macro ones? It's pretty. I mean, it's like a slap in the face a lot of times for a lot of people. And even times when I've wanted to get down to race weight, if I want to do it in a hurry but do it the right way, I just start logging stuff because I won't touch it if I have to look at it on paper.
And is that sustainable? Is kind of one of those things, right?
I mean, no, but it's sometimes when you're not like, you're very performance oriented, and again, you don't ever want to try to lose weight quickly because it will affect your performance. But if all you're doing is trading out crap sources for better sources, and like your performance is going to go up and you'll probably still lose weight.
Oh, exactly.
I mean, once you get down to like, once you get kind of into like a weight where you sustain it because of your normal amount of activity. Like I've probably been the same weight for the last 4 years, 4 or 5 years. And I don't fluctuate a whole lot from it. It requires me to really focus on like the sources of food that are going in for me to drop any more weight, regardless of the hours of training I do.
Yeah.
So,
and for me personally, it's more of a portion control sort of thing, because I can eat a massive volume.
If you've ever seen Bryant eat a salad, he doesn't get baby salads. They come in, and it's not even like even a small mixing bowl. It's like one you could use as a satellite dish.
Oh yeah.
And then he just goes in with like the wooden fork and starts just mowing on it.
I'm A-okay eating that. The problem is I take that same level of volume, and then when I start eating like them fried pickles or those fries you mentioned earlier, or the chips and salsa.
Yeah.
I mean, chips. We talked before about how we can each eat
chips and salsa.
4,000 calories worth of chips.
Easy peasy.
Which we'll talk about. I guess this would probably be a decent time. We're not saying that you have to eliminate all of, like, there is no evil food.
Yeah.
The problem becomes when there's a food that you have that you end up either eating so much of or overindulging in, or like that's the one thing you go crazy with, and it starts impacting the amount of the healthy stuff you eat.
So you have this food on your right shoulder with little horns and stuff that, you enjoy so much, you end up eating a lot more of it. And then the good food that is actually going to make you healthy and you're already full.
Fuel you for performance.
You're already full. So like the little angel food not angel food cake. We're not talking about cake here.
We're talking about cake.
The little angel on your other shoulder, gets passed up because you've already, consumed all of the devil food.
Yep. And just having boundaries there. Like, we're not saying you have to get rid of anything, because a lot of times that's not sustainable, right? If there's something you like and you feel like you can't have it, you're not allowed to have it. For a lot of folks, I mean, there's some that you can switch it on and off and like, hey, I don't need it anymore. I'm not going to eat it. I don't want it. Like, you're good. Other people, it's like they constantly have that on the shoulder calling, hey, chips, chips, chips. And then as soon as you finally like break your, fast off it or whatever you want to call it, you eat a massive bag of chips.
Right.
You'd be better off, eating your 10, 15 chips every day versus going and eating a whole bag full or a bag of candy. You're better off having one piece of candy or 2 pieces of candy, like getting your fix, having your treat, and then carrying on with your day, versus some people will abstain and then eat the whole bag.
My biggest tactic at dinner is like always eat a salad with dinner, like first, or like when my plate is in front of me, I eat the veggies and stuff first before digging into the other stuff, and I actively attempt to fill myself up on the good stuff prior to digging into something that's not. And that's even how we treat, like, we don't eat a lot of meat, but when we do eat meat, that's how I still try to treat that, is eat the good stuff first and then eat the meat last. Because the meat, for me, is tough because, like, not having it ever is tough, because to me, meat fills me up. Like I couldn't sit there and eat a giant satellite dish full of salad and like not be hungry 2 hours later. But like if I eat like meat or even nuts or something like that, like I'm good for a while, and it's a much smaller amount.
Yeah. I'm the first to tell you, this goes into our next point. I'm the first to tell you, if if you've watched a documentary, saying how awesome, Game Changers was talking about how all the performance benefits, health benefits of going plant-based. If you're someone who can't stand vegetables, that is not going to be a good diet, a good nutritional plan for you. Yeah, I think you should be trying to eat more fruits and vegetables. A lot of micronutrients there that are very healthy for you, and you need to get those into your body. But if you can't eat the variety that you need and the volume you need to get those protein needs, for example, that you'd have during the day, if you hate it so much that you're starving yourself on a daily basis, that is not a sustainable diet for you. And I'd be the first person to say, hey, you should be adding some meat back into your diet. Add some of the extra stuff in there that is going to allow you to have a more well-balanced and hit all those nutrient needs that you've got.
Yeah, there was a good question here, and we actually get asked this. I get asked this, fairly frequently. Is like if I am like actively training a decent amount, is it a good practice to like save, like, I don't know, I want to call it a cheat day, but like a day where I'm going to eat the less great stuff for me for like a day where I have a lot more training, like your long training days, Saturday, Sunday, long ride, long bike, or long run, long ride days. Like, are those better days to have those less healthy foods that are high in calories? Yeah, I mean, totally. Like,
yes, and if you can, surround them around that heavier training too.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
when your body's burning through that stuff.
If you're, it's like, don't use it as an excuse to like eat a ton of it and just, gorge on only some cake or some brownies or whatever, like unhealthy stuff. But if you're going to eat that stuff and like, it's going to like satisfy you mentally for the week, like, yeah, keep it on the days where you have the bigger training load because your body needs those calories anyways. You're probably burning through them. It's not the healthiest source, but it's also not
if that's allowing you
amount of excess calories in the day.
Yeah, and if that's allowing you to eat healthier throughout the week, if you're someone who really struggles with it, and that's awesome. Again, if you're someone who, and I'm not this person, but if you're someone who can moderate and eat a little bit of sweets.
Yeah, I'm not that person either.
Or
that's why we don't keep it in the house.
That's
generally
not me. Exactly. Yeah, that's not me. But so for people like that, having a cheat day, for example, that could be huge. Yeah, and surrounding it around your heavier exercise when your body's wanting to just burn through calories, needing calories. That's a better timing for it if that's the route you're going.
Yeah. Only thing, like, I will say, like, because I do eat some meat and stuff, most of our meat comes in the form of fish. So you could say pescatarian, Mediterranean, whatever you want to call it. I don't care. But like, make sure that you are, like, even meat is processed, like, so let's go for the whole meats, whole cuts, leaner cuts, that kind of thing. Like, if you, the whole thing is
getting rid of your fried meats.
Yeah, if you like meat,
getting rid of your fried foods in general is usually
get rid of the fried stuff
or minimize.
The processed stuff, because like things like deli meats are all super processed. So just choose the better sources.
Yep.
The sources that have gone through less process.
Yes.
Like, if it could go off of the animal onto your plate, that'd be clutch. Closest to that.
Or in my case, out of the garden,
out of the ground.
Yep.
Yeah. But again,
the fewer the additives, the better.
Don't allow eating meat to be that devil on your shoulder where you only are consuming meat protein and you're not eating the healthier fruit, veggies, carbs, that kind of thing.
Yeah, you want to make sure you're getting all those micronutrients that you need.
So one of the big things that we, like, once you're kind of into it a little bit, whatever method you choose. Like cooking your own meals, like as many of them as possible, is a great thing because you know exactly what's going into it. You know the source, you know every ingredient. So like I usually tell people like too, like even with sweets, like brownies and whatever, if you can cook it, you can eat it. Go for it. Like if you want to take the time to like make that, then you can eat that. Because you like not from a box, like from scratch. Like you know all the ingredients.
And that goes back to being aware, right? Aware of what you're putting into your body.
Right.
So now you know the stuff that went into it. You're being intentional about the whole thing as opposed to just randomly going with whatever's convenient to you.
I mean, the word convenience usually is synonymous with processed, packaged, and high calorie, low nutrition. I mean, not nutrition dense food, generally speaking. I'm going to put in.
Yeah.
But, convenience food is not known for being super nutritious, very nutritious.
Yeah. Especially when we start talking like fast foods.
Yeah, well, fast foods.
Although convenient.
Oh, yeah.
Generally.
Yeah, so prepare your own meals as much as you possibly can. And sometimes, that is a sacrifice for a lot of people because it's just more time.
Yeah.
Like everyone's short on time. Everyone's time crunched these days. But if you buy your food somewhat in bulk and you cook it all at once, you can pretty much meal plan. I know a lot of people, we coach a lot of people that meal plan for the entire week. And they'll eat the same lunch every day 1 week because they made 5 of them.
Yep.
Like, but that way they know they're getting in like great nutrition.
Yep, exactly. Yep. Next one, variety is the spice of life. If you find you're eating very little variety, we would encourage you to expand your horizons.
Yeah.
If all you like, I bet there's not many people out here, but if all you like is broccoli and you're going plant-based, I would recommend you broaden your horizon some, eat a variety of different colors.
Eat the colors, man.
Eat fruits, eat vegetables, eat a lot of different grains.
It goes with
nuts.
For those that are eating meat, it goes with meat too.
Same with meat.
Don't just eat one source of meat. Like if all you're eating is chicken, okay, that's great, but chicken will eventually yield you a lack of some sort of nutrient. Like don't just pick one. Like eat some chicken, eat some fish, eat occasional red meat, pork, whatever. But don't eat the same thing all the time. It's like doing the same workout all the time. There's going to be eventually it's going to balance out and there's going to be like no benefit there. So, try to mix things up.
Yeah, especially if you find that you're eating a very limited range of foods. I think where most, like a lot of people end up suffering in general, your typical, American style diet is, I honestly don't think people get the amount of fruits and vegetables they need in their diets that allows them to get the micronutrients that would be very beneficial to them, where they would see an increase in performance and overall health. Most people's diets are much more on that, like your breads, your pastas, your meats, your cheeses. It's very. I don't think people are getting the amount of salad. Like adding a salad could be a great thing.
Veggies are the one thing, the major thing. Like people are not eating enough vegetable. I mean, fruit is even a convenience food to me because it's always so like packaged and you're used to eating it like cold and whatever, or room temperature, and you like it's in its own shell and whatever. But like with people are just not used to eating raw vegetables. They're used to having them cooked all the time. But there's a lot of vegetables out there that are like really good raw.
Oh yeah,
like
for sure.
We eat so many of like the red and orange and yellow peppers.
Yeah.
Like our kids demolish them.
If you're someone who's like doesn't like the green bell peppers, try the yellows and the oranges and the reds.
Of green.
Yeah,
But all the other, sweeter bell peppers are fantastic, and they are like packed with nutrients.
Yep, for sure.
So
broaden your horizons. Don't put yourself in the tiny little box. Eat variety. Get your fruits and vegetables, and you're likely going to find that you're feeling better as a result.
So the last little thing we'll end here is pretty much what we had to sneak the word into the show here. So consistency is greater than striving for perfection. Like, don't try to be perfect, just be consistent. You're going to slip. There's always going to be scenarios where you're at a function and you don't have a choice of what there is to eat. I mean, we don't necessarily recommend just not eating, especially if you're an athlete and you have like maybe a workout the next day or whatever. Like, you got to fuel the machine. We run into it all the time that athletes are under fueling. Like, they're like thinking to themselves, they're trying to get down race weight, they're trying to lose weight, but they're doing plenty of training and they're just under fueling. So they end up low energy, and then their mental state falls off. So you got to fuel the machine. So don't try to be perfect all the time. Just be consistent, and set yourself up, by doing the things like meal planning and eating the whole foods and having that, like, all that good stuff in the house, keeping the crap food out of the house. Like, set yourself up for success. And your success is you're just being consistent most of the time.
Oh, exactly. Yep. No, yeah. That's the biggest thing, right? Like, don't beat yourself up. We say it quite a bit. Like, big difference between people who see a lot of progress with their workouts versus those that don't are the ones that are hitting that extra workout that they'd usually blow off, right? They're staying consistent from that regard. But we're the first people as coaches to let our athletes know, like, it's missing workouts is going to happen. It happens. Let's adjust. Let's get back to it. Let's not let one missed workout or two missed workouts or a bad weekend or whatever it is be something that's now going to derail you from your whole program. Like, all is lost. I missed 3 workouts and now you missed 2 weeks worth of stuff. Same thing with nutrition. Like, if you have a bad meal, that's fine. If you have 2 bad meals, that's fine. If you have a bad day, that's fine. But let's kind of look in the grand scheme of things. Let's constantly be trying to be as consistent as we can. Scheme. Grand scheme of things.
Okay, keep going.
But let's not get so caught up in any one workout, any one meal, and think that one thing is your make or break for any success or any goal you have down the road. Instead, I'm always kind of thinking about trying to move the needle forward. Like, what can I do? What's a better choice I can make? If I fall off the wagon, if I fall off the tracks, quickly get back on it and keep, kicking the ball down the field.
Yeah.
What other things could I throw in here?
How many more analogies?
I just said something on the tracks and kicking the ball down the field, right?
So once you get into all this stuff and you start making changes and you're into it for, a month or so, just ask yourself, how do you feel? Like, are you feeling better? Like, have you dropped any weight? And it's not even like number on the scale, but like, are your clothes fitting better? That's our usual, that's a better metric for weight loss, in our opinion.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
But, how are you feeling and how is it affecting your performance? Do you feel like you have energy, like sustained energy through your training sessions? Do you feel like you have sustained energy throughout the day?
Do you feel like you're recovering better? Are you sleeping better?
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's a lot of things
those are all the things you can kind of monitor and see if the nutrition changes that you're making are actually helping your overall health and performance. I mean, that's really what we're after.
Oh, exactly. So, 100%. We want something that works for you, something that you can sustain. We want you making healthier choices. Most people, and actually I was just talking to a person the other day that was like, hey, I need help with my nutrition. I was like, okay, well, spend a couple days writing down what you eat. And they said, well, if I write it down, of course I'm going to eat right. And I'm like, okay, so your problem is not knowing what to eat. Your problem is just the execution of that. So most people, especially that we deal with, have a good idea of what is healthier and what is not. Start subbing things, sub out the unhealthy that you know and add the healthy that you know. And just small changes like that on a consistent basis are going to yield great results. You don't have to go 100% plant-based or 100% keto.
No, I mean...
And just because your buddy did it and it worked for them and they lost weight and are touting the benefits of it all, may not be the best for you.
May not, it may not work out at all because you end up eating French fries and...
Chips and salsa.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Thanks for hanging out, listening, watching. Hopefully this gave you some good tips and ways to go about making some good changes for you.
Yeah, and if you're someone who does have questions on that, Casey is someone who has a lot of knowledge on this subject.
We should have led with this. We are not registered dietitian nutritionists, but we stayed at a Holiday Inn Express last night.
And we have one on staff.
We have one on staff. Yeah. So if you have any questions for us, shoot them over and we can get some answers. We had a few that didn't necessarily pertain to this topic specifically, but we'll shoot answers out to folks on those questions because we did get answers from Coach Casey. So
cool.
All right. Thanks for hanging out, listening, watching. We'll catch you guys next time.
Peace.
Adios.